Well, it's a great story, and there's really only, I guess, one female in the story. I mean, there are a couple, but the main story with the female is Anne and Danny, so that was kind of cool. And also, she's a country girl. She rides horses, and I love riding horses, and and I love the country, and I haven't played a country girl in a long time, so it was nice. It was a nice break from my usual spy stuff that I do, that I have been doing prior to this job. Well, Anne and Danny go back a long time. They actually knew each other since they were kids, and Danny ends up going away, and then he comes back now that he's had this whole other life, and they're both adults, and she walks up to him and he doesn't recognize her at first, and she has to sort of jog his memory, and he realizes that it's Anne, the girl that he grew up with the weird gumboots, and so, you know, and then they start a friendship, I guess, and love pursues after that. Anne has a bit of a dark past. I think she's a really positive person. She always sort of looks towards the bright side, and she always looks to the future. And she doesn't like being stuck in the past, despite her dark past with her husband and things that happened before we meet her now in this story in The Killer Elite. And yeah, Anne's a country girl, simple life, and I think at the time when she meets Danny, or when she meets him again later on in her life, I think she's ready to sort of have a relationship, and I think she wants it. She needs it. She's been so lonely, and it's exciting to work with Jason. It was exciting to find out that Clive was part of the project, and Robert De Niro, of course. Who wouldn't be excited to work with Robert De Niro? So it's been just wonderful working with Jason. I've had most of my scenes with him. And he's a really lovely guy. He's really fun, really energetic. He never seems to run out of energy, even though he sort of barely sleeps, apparently. I admire his stamina. He gets up every morning and trains before he shoots. And well, I had to, ironically, get back into my Australian accent. It's been a while since I've had to do an Australian accent on camera, because most of the time now I do an American accent, or an English accent. The last thing I did, I had to do an English accent. So it was a little bit difficult, actually, because I'm not used to it anymore. So that was something to wrap my head around. Mainly physically, though, it was the horse riding. I've ridden horses before, and I love it. I just needed to sort of brush up on my technique a little bit to look like a girl who's been living in the country and been riding since she was, you know, able to walk. Oh, Gary, Gary's just a sweetheart. He's so beautiful, and he's so talented at what he does. He knows exactly what he wants. Visually, he wants to tell a very particular story, and he's really trying to make, even though this is predominantly an action, he's really trying to set it in reality and in a very natural sort of performance, which is really great. And he's so passionate about what he's doing, and just like Jason, he has endless amounts of energy.